on?
I think the contest is important for several reasons. First of all, I wanted people to be exposed to free software. When you go to a conference like Fizzly, which is all free software, you're really preaching to the choir. So I wanted to expose people who were working on Windows systems and Macintosh systems, Apple systems, to free software. And I thought that one of the best ways of doing this was to get people interested in making a multimedia movie or song and editing that with free software. That way people could use software on top of the Windows systems they were familiar with, but they could see the power and the flexibility of the free software. So that was the first thought I had for this. The second thought was to show the students, show the campus people, participants, what it was like to be under a lot of pressure to get something done, to get focused on something, to be able to say, well, I'm not going to do anything else for a day or two. I'm just going to do this one thing. And I realized there was a very short time frame to make any type of video or movie, but I did believe that it could be done in a short period of time. I admit to having edited movies before and things like that. However, the other day I recorded a certain amount of video, which I then went in and edited that video to make a tight video, a very good video. And I only spent an hour doing the recording and an hour doing the editing, even using a piece of software I'd never used before. So to do something in a short period of time under a lot of pressure, often the times you have to do something in business, and I wanted them to be able to experience that. The third thing was that I wanted people to actually use the free software and to get you know to see the quality of the software. So these are the reasons why I thought that the challenge was important. And I think that the two people that went through and did very relatively good work in a short period of time really appreciated that. I'm a little disappointed that we didn't have more entries, and I'm a little disappointed that we didn't have it advertised across more of the different groups. It was advertised only in the Software Lever group, and it didn't really receive, other than your blog, didn't really receive that much visibility in the other groups that are here at Campus Party. And I hope the next time that we have a media challenge that I can get access to some of the other groups and say to the video group or the audio group, here's something that you should be participating in, you should be pushing, to be able to do an edited video or audio thing using free software.
You told me before about the story of the teacher in South Africa.
Yes.
What's the story once again?
I went to Soweto, South Africa, and there was a very famous photographer who had a photography studio, and he was training people in this very poor neighborhood, young people, how to be good photographers. Now, if you use film a lot, regular film, to take lots of pictures for composition, things like that, it can be very expensive. So he had gotten some inexpensive digital cameras to take the pictures, but then he was using Photoshop on his computer to have the students do the manipulation of the pictures, the cropping and everything like that. I asked him, when the students went home to their own computers, did they have copies of Photoshop? And the answer was yes. I said, did they buy them? And the answer was no, they couldn't afford the $700 that Photoshop would cost. So instead, I gave them a copy of GIMP. And GIMP runs on Windows as well as Linux as well as Mac OS. And I said, use this because it's free software and your students will not be pirating the software when they use it. And they can do all the things with GIMP that they could do with Photoshop. Cropping, changing colors, rotation, special effects. But they would not be stealing software. It would be free software they were using, and even if they wanted to change it, it had the capability of changing it because they had the source code. So I gave them some books. I gave them a copy of GIMP, and I was told that they really enjoyed GIMP. They thought it was very good, very powerful. So I would encourage other people who are doing multimedia work, trying to teach students how to do multimedia work, to take a look at free software as a way of extending that education. I also recommend things like Blender, which is a phenomenal animation, 3D animation production software. There's quite a bit of very good free software out there to do all sorts of multimedia.
Great, thank you.
You're welcome.